You know, we are a long way from electing our next governor in Michigan, but the race is really starting to heat up.
Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan kicking his campaign into high gear tonight alongside supporters from across the state and on both sides of the aisle. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin joining us live from Michigan Central with more. Hi, Dave.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I know a lot of you watching at home are probably thinking, wow, it seems early to talk about the election for the next governor, but I'll tell you, for several months now, it's been all about fundraising and getting those early endorsements, and it's no exception for Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan, a Democrat as the current mayor of the city, but an independent as a candidate for governor. Let's go to some video right now. Mayor Duggan joined by more than 200 current and former elected leaders of both parties from across the state at a campaign event right here in Corktown. He said that the widespread endorsements, which include support from a variety of faith leaders, along with leading Detroit's comeback, serves as proof he can work with all sides to get things done. The lifelong Democrat turned independent candidate for governor says he will work with all parties to reduce crime in the state's big cities, while pointing to Detroit's historic drop in gun violence. Now, we made headlines for giving credit to the Trump administration for helping with that effort in the city, but he says there is still more to do. You've also touched on gun violence and the reduction in Detroit. He credited the Trump administration, but with the spike in violence we've seen this summer, what do you say to Detroiters who say the job isn't done yet?
Okay, and let's be clear. I did an interview on CNN, which everybody who saw it accurately. You had a misleading headline, but let's be clear on this. We have cut the homicide rate in this city from 400 when I started at 200 in 2024. And that's been a lot of people helping. This year, we are going to be even lower than that. And since Jerome Gorgon came in as the U.S. Attorney, we've seen a doubling of the federal prosecutors. And I'm not afraid to give credit to people who help. But from the time I was prosecutor 25 years ago, I wanted the kind of federal prosecutorial support we're getting today. But we have a long way to go.
Yeah, the Duggan campaign has been pushing back on that national headline that he had basically praised the Trump administration on helping to reduce violence, really talking about his time as a former prosecutor, saying there's a certain type of prosecution style he'd like to see in terms of collaborative efforts. So you heard him talking about that there. Meantime, he's been raking in the dough this early in the campaign. Of course, he was the top fundraiser of all the candidates in the first half of the year, bringing in $3.2 million in new money. There's about $2 million or so on hand, according to the latest figures that I saw. Also, we do know that he's been talking about big endorsements, and he scored an early endorsement from the Detroit Regional Chamber. We're live in Corktown. Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, we know that name recognition is important, money is important, but name recognition and money important here at home. But talk for a moment about how important it is for him to get his message out outside of Southeast Michigan, because there's a lot of voters up north and on the west side of the state that may not be on board.
Yeah, and I think we got a glimpse of that strategy with all of these mayors and state reps, current, former local and state officials from around the state backing him up. You know, most people, you vote for your local mayor. Hopefully you like your local official. If that's the case, then the theory could be that the Duggan campaign will look to those local leaders around the state to help make joint appearances with him to get his name and face out there and tell the Detroit story as well. So that could be a very big glimpse in his overall statewide strategy to boost his notoriety.
Yeah, a lot of time on the clock left for Republicans, Democrats, and the sole independent in this race. Dave Kinchin for us live tonight. Thanks.